And speaking of firearms, and honestly, Kyle, I actually really did miss FPSRussia last week. I was in Texas, and it was just I thought about you the whole time because I was around all these guns, firearms, and it reminded me. I was like, I'm so fortunate in life in the weirdest ways, just due to the job. And one of the ways I was like fortunate, just being a guy from Montreal, and not many people know a guy like you. Like when I went to your house, it was like, you gave me guns and you were like, point that way. And I shot guns.
Yeah.
Like I shot like a Desert Eagle. I shot the shotgun. You took me to shoot that automatic Glock and he gave it to me. You're like, try and hold it straight. And that was like the instructions. And I was
that's a solid safety briefing though. Like if you do keep it pointed that way, you're going to solve most of your problems.
Somehow when I was holding it though, I thought for sure that the recoil was going to do this really quickly and have the gun pointing at my own face. In my brain, I was like, that's what's going to happen.
I just knew that you're a big dude. And I think I've always thought, like, whenever I've hung out with you, I always think like, this is not the guy I have to be like, oh, and put your hand under it. like, oh yeah. And make sure
you're right.
Stand up
Plant
straight.
your feet firmly.
You're so fucking big. You look like a fucking like athlete, fighter, like professional athlete kind of guy when I meet you. So I'm like, so I'm giving you maybe more credit than I should. I'm like, you were. I'm going to walk Tyler through the safety speech. Here's your AR. Tyler, very careful now. These are deadly weapons. He's over.
You were in one sense, though. You were in one sense when you thought that I could handle it because I could, except like the thing with the Glock, and I'll expand on it, is that like I don't really have like good wrists. Like even like look at my hand when I do this. Like I have like it's not a good wrist scenario, and like a gun like. The shotgun was fun, but like the Deagle and the Glock automatic was like, I was like, my wrists are not used to shooting guns. But the cool thing about it was like, I didn't have to go and like take a course and listen for an hour or anything. You put it in my hand and you were like, here. And so when I was in Texas, there was so many guns there. And these dudes, the Unsubscribed podcast guys, we were like at the Black Rifle Coffee shooting range. Brandon Herrera was there, and Caleb Francis, like a bunch of creators, gun tubers, and they had all these guns, and it just reminded me of you because they gave it to me and they're like, here you go, bud, shoot it.
Take off.
And one of them was a 454 Magnum, and they were like, yeah, just point it that way. And like, this is Caleb, he's a huge dude, and like I am also a huge dude, but like he's a solid dude. I got like some like I said, I got little wrists, I got little claws, I got these claws, and I was like, I shot that gun, and it was like really crazy. The reason why I bring it all up is because I shot one gun and I thought right away, I was like, I wonder if Kyle has ever shot this gun. And this gun was it was a Barrett 50 cal that was made. There was one of 20 made by the government that is a shoulder mounted 50 cal. And it had like the shoulder pad like it was the fucking Halo rocket launcher. And I literally like I shot it, and like it's funny because like all day I shot and I literally thought of you.
Did it kick like a mule?
Time.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It's like a Barrett sniper rifle, but it was like and there's a bunch that were made like on apparently after the fact, but there was 20 officially made, and it's like a shoulder, it goes on your shoulder. And
like on top
there.
of it?
Yeah, and it's
not
like
against it.
Does it go on top and in front? I'm picturing something with a curve.
Like a hook, sort of?
Yeah. Pass 12 has a stock like that.
It goes on your shoulder, and you're supposed to just like hit a helicopter with it.
All right, this is...
And
okay, we
here.
may be a little confused somewhere.
I got you right here.
What the fuck is that?
Is that
all
it?
right? No. I was very confused because I didn't know such a thing existed. Who is shooting at helicopters with a 50 BMG? Who was this made for?
What's a 50? What's a 50 BMG?
That's a 50. The caliber.
Will that take out a helicopter?
It's the kind of bullet that it shoots.
I mean, anything will take out a helicopter if you hit the guy flying it. What is this for?
Well, but Kyle, as you know,
here I sent
these 50
I
cals are kind of for taking out equipment. Right?
Yeah, they're anti-material rifles. What I'm confused about here is why it would be shoulder mounted like that, like a rocket launcher or something.
Oh, that's
because it still has the recoil. Like that thing kicks.
Good job.
Yeah,
man.
well, that's what I was
exactly
gonna say.
it.
Like that's what I was gonna say is I shot it.
Okay,
and, like,
okay.
It kind of made me a bitch.
Yeah. You might. Okay, I'm glad the optics way out there.
Only 20.
Bro, it's a Call of Duty thing. It's got a red dot and like a foregrip halfway up the gun. It just felt like.
Lean into it, Harley.
I know. I shoot it like a bitch.
Bro, your face right.
I shoot it like a bitch.
No. You shoot it fine because I bet that hurt.
Look at your arms.
Ever done that to my body?
Yeah,
You got 2 more. I should shoot it again.
Yeah, you have to shoot it.
You should.
Harley looks like a strong Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, that one was worse.
Dr. Disrespect looks like a strong Dr. Disrespect.
Dr. Disrespect's pretty strong, but Harley is like the after picture for
well, maybe someday they'll find out who's real.
There you go. There you go. Hero pose.
Golly.
You did all that real well. I've never seen that, never heard of that. Don't know why that exists.
That's crazy.
When you showed me the picture, I thought it was a joke gun. Clearly, it has a purpose because they built it. And if the government only wanted 20 of them, that's probably a sign of its effectiveness, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's for. If you tell me it's an anti-air barrack, then okay. But it just seems like such a piece of shit that nobody would ever want to haul that out. Because it's
like a Call of Duty loadout.
The United States has tons of things you throw on your shoulder and shoot at helicopters, right? That work. You'd have to be such a badass to use that and hit a moving helicopter. I'm not saying it's impossible. You fly them around all day. I'm gonna shoot a couple down. All right, it's gonna happen. But like that's not the way. The official military. They're like, oh yeah, how do we deal with this? Oh, this is the official way to deal with that. Is the most efficient, cost efficient, manpower efficient.
Shoot a round that aims itself.
That thing right there. There are rounds that aim themselves now. By the way,
I guess I was talking about
fucked my body up.
I'm talking
that thing fucked my body up. It sent that thing shook my bones and like humbled me. And I realized like touching guns, but touching guns, I realized like guns it's like a man thing in the sense that like fine motorcycles are. Okay, there you go. And cars, like, and just I'm just saying, those are like manly things. You want to take care of your stuff, and you want to operate. Like, you got to have strong thumbs. You got to mean what you're doing. You got to have man hands to like do gun stuff.
I never thought I had. I don't think I have those. I think you got to know where to squeeze and how to squeeze and all that stuff, and when it's okay to let it give you some recoil and when you're supposed to be controlling and absorbing. And I don't know. I started shooting from such an early age. I don't know how to teach that. And I hear people talk about what you're talking about. And I don't get it. Because like I could limp wrist a 12 gauge in each hand right now, and I could shoot them semi-automatic, and they would just dance like this, and I'd never let them go. That'd be
a sick video if you were still dropping.
That'd be crazy. It'd be very dangerous.
Yeah, but that was the thing.
That's the best video.
But like, don't watch FPSRussia for safety tips.
I mean, I could shoot a Glock with 3 fingers. I could just as long as I can like grab it a little. I mean, it'll pop back, but I know how it's going to pop back, so I'm riding it. I don't know. I don't get it. The only things that have ever kicked me, and I've been like, oh, that kicks hard. The 500 Smith & Wesson, when you've got like a short barrel and a wooden grip, it hurts because you don't have that big fat rubbery grip to like take all that impact out, and you got a short barrel, so long barrels dealing with a lot of the recoil, and it just hurt. It wasn't the kickback as much as it was this vibration or this. It felt like my hand.
What the Magnum did to me, it hurt me like right here. Like right in my thumb, like right there, it got me there. And I was kind of like, I was just like, it's interesting that like a lot of the guns I shot them, they were very serious. And I felt like, I was like, oh, I'm kind of like,
you're going to want to squeeze with the bottom fingers more than the top fingers. These 2 fingers can ride a little. These 2 fingers these down the bottom are squeezing for dear life. And that lets the gun rock back. And if you lock the front of your hand forward, the gun's coming back a little, and you don't want it coming back into that. You want to be able to rock it a little bit like this, and you'll never feel it. It doesn't hurt. I've never been hurt like that.
I just got to get used to it more.
People think the big guns hurt. It's not the big guns that hurt me. And I haven't fired the ones Kyle talked about, like the 500 Smith & Wesson. But a little LCP, that thing weighs nothing.
What's an LCP?
It's called a mouse gun. It's a 380, which is to say a little smaller than a 9mm. And it fits in your pocket nicely. The thing is, because it doesn't have any weight, it doesn't get absorbed, and all of that recoil goes into your hand. Right. And have you ever been in an environment like a stadium or something where you're trying to clap loudly and you're like, yeah, this actually hurts, you know, like smacking my fingers and hands together. It hurts on your skin. That's what this gun does. It's meant to be carried a lot and fired a little. It's not meant to be shot all the time because it's an unpleasant experience. It doesn't weigh anything.
It's like a last resort.
Yeah, but
you need it.
I have a full-size 9mm that's really comfortable to shoot. You could shoot it all day. Why? It weighs twice as much and kicks about the same.
I like shooting like rifles was so easy because it's just up again. And that's where like you're right. When you're like, he'll be fine. Because once I brace it up against my body, like it's okay. You know, at that point, I felt comfortable with it. But when my arms are out there, my limbs are just so long and my shit wrist and just the shit hand, a little claw on the gun just wasn't that good.
The coolest and most pleasant gun for like, I would say people like you, is something like an AR carbine, meaning that you've got an AR-15 platform that's chambered in a pistol caliber. So 9mm or 45 ACP would be my pick. One of those 9mm is probably what I go with. And so you have very low recoil, thuk, 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 instead of that clack, clack, clack. AR-15 doesn't kick that hard anyway, but now it really doesn't. And then you throw a suppressor on it, and because if it's 45 ACP, that's a subsonic round, so the suppressor is doubly effective, triply effective. Now you have a paintball gun that kills, that you can shoot targets at 100 yards and have so much fun shooting steel. When that slow, heavy 45 caliber round hits a thick piece of steel, it's dong and knocks that thing down. You can see how much power you're sending down range, but it's quiet. It's like thunk, 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 just like a paintball gun.
I put the link there because you're right. I shot a gun that felt like that. It was like a silenced one, so it felt like how you're describing. It was like a thunk, thunk, thunk. But these guns, this was like Pistilli was there, and it was cool. I got to meet him, and I was like, "Yo, what up?" And we know each other because we were both on this podcast. So like when he was in Texas, I got to see him. But that first video, the guns that were there, these are all like. These are mute that. These are all like what's it called? They were from Tarkov. Exactly. He brought like the I think these are a mix. I think they're like Brandon Herrera's and like I shot some of Caleb's guns. Everyone had guns there. Okay, there's so many fucking guns.
All right, so the only thing that stuck out to me there was that what looks like a VSS or a Val. Like it's the wooden stock suppressed, fully automatic.
I know this gun because I use this in Battlefield, actually.
Yeah. Whose was that?
It's a great question. No, can I see it? Like, which one is it? I want to see what table it was on.
Again? Can you pull up the table?
Honestly, your presence was with me the whole time. I was there, and I was like, the last time I was ever just with loose guns was at your place. And I even walked into a house there, and there was like, I walked in the house, and there was a P90 and like a couple like pistols on the carpet, and I was like, this is so just
stop. So
that right there, that brown one, right?
Yeah, if you go back,
I see. Yeah, the one that was on the special bag on the tarp.
Yeah, he'll have to loop around.
Yeah, that's.
I think he knows the spot. It's the one that has the wooden stock with the space in it.
As soon as we go to the next scene, pause.
Yeah, there.
Pause.
Bottom right, wooden stock.
Oh, I thought it was that one.
What the hell?
I thought it was a Dragunov top, like sitting on a case.
So on the top left, I don't know I can't visually tell the difference between like a Dragunov and a PSO, which I think is like the Romanian version, which is like you get the Romanian thing for like $1,000. That thing, if that's real, is probably $5 or $10,000 or something. I don't even know.
This is Tarkov guns, right?
Yeah. So if he's
so sick,
one can kind of stand it. I mean, that's what I did when I went to make a video of a Dragunov. I was like, okay, so I can get a $15,000 import, or I can get a $900 at Franklin gun from Franklin's. Give me that $900 gun and let's go.
These guys were fun guys. They were cool guys. It reminded me like linking up like with you guys when we would film stuff, and like we were like we'd meet up and film like these like epic meals. They were filming stuff already, and they were like they all got like a bunch of different channels. And I never get that stuff on my YouTube. Because my recommended page doesn't look like Skinhead Josh's recommended page. I never get the fun red pill gun stuff. I get like the cucked lib stuff, you know?
I mean, look, I'll be honest, like I don't like those videos, and I never have. Like
which one?
I was gun videos. I've never liked gun videos. I've never. I'm trying to think how many gun videos I've actually watched. I used to watch Carnicon.
I never ever heard of gun videos
cool.
until you. I never like was like, that's a great idea. You should just shoot awesome guns.
I forget his name. Is there a guy named Matt Demolition Ranch? That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we were right near. We were there. He didn't pull up though, and I thought I was gonna get a chance to meet him.
I like his veterinarian videos too.
Yeah, he didn't pull up though.
Kyle, you muted.